What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean Peter Blunt God. Hey! And we are back with another One Piece chapter reaction. Today we will be reacting to One Piece chapter 1072. The title of this chapter is The Weight of Memory. Man, that just gives me pudding vibes, right? That gives me pudding vibes, pudding maybe some Big Mom vibes or something. Now, before we get into the chapter, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the chapter, your thoughts on the reaction. What did I miss? What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Let me know down in the comments. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can engage with me in real time. Catch me while I'm live. If you want to connect with me, if you directly, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And join my Discord. That is probably going to be the best place to connect with me because that's the place I'm most active at. If you want to send me content to react to, I have a channel in the Discord for you guys to send me content. And if you want to be part of a future discussion stream, make sure you are part of the Discord because, you must be a member in order to get on to the VC for the stream. All of these will be in the description box down below. So, let's get into it. So, it's one of my favorite days of the week when we get a new chapter, right? It's one of my favorite days of the week. Anytime we get that new chapter hit, oh, it's like Christmas almost. It's like Christmas. So today's chapter 1072, The Weight of Memory. Like I said, it's giving me pudding vibes, pudding, Big Mom vibes, especially pudding because her devil fruit ability deals closely with memories, and I say Big Mom because, everything with Elbath and a lot of the speculation about pudding giving Big Mom her memories back so she could remember about eating Mother Caramel and the other orphans. So I guess that's kind of why it reminds me of Big Mom, more so still connected with pudding. So, her remembering everything that happened on Elbath, especially because she gets amnesia a lot. So it's like, Big Mom always have a thing with forgetting or having memory problems, even though she has a daughter that has memory abilities. So, I'm getting heavy pudding in Big Mom vibes with the name of this chapter. So let's dissect this cover page. We still on the Mads cover story. Is Germa 66 Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 28, Mass Producing Deadly Weapons. We've been at this 28 volumes. 28 of these. God dang. So we see Caesar and who I assume to be Queen, right? Caesar, Queen, and Judge. Caesar has what looks to be a devil fruit, most likely an artificial devil fruit, because one thing I noticed that most devil fruits share are the patterns, right? They usually have swirly patterns. Real devil fruits. I'm not talking about artificial devil fruits. The real devil fruits tend to have swirls within the leaf or whatever kind of devil fruit it is, because not all devil fruits are leafy, you know what I'm saying? So so Caesar's holding what looks to be a devil fruit, most likely an artificial devil fruit. Queen is holding two, I think they're called beakers, right? I think that's what they're called, how you where you keep your liquid in and you do your measuring and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's holding like two beakers with like fumes coming out of them. And then Judge is holding what looks to be like a weapon, some type of weapon, like a not a spear, but you kind of hold it like a spear, right? So it looked like they up to some maniacal stuff, right? Like it looked like they up to some deviant stuff, and this could be what leads Vegapunk to pretty much, make his exit from Mads, right? Like we know eventually somehow the world government picked him up. I don't remember the full details behind it, but it's kind of giving me this idea that maybe the split with Mads was like maybe because the other side, like Queen, Caesar, and Judge, were all kind of wanting to create like weapons and stuff that brings like negative consequences to the world, right? And maybe Caesar or maybe Vegapunk wasn't with that. Maybe Vegapunk like wanted to help the world at that point in time. So he wasn't with all these weapons and I'm assuming Queen, him being plague when it comes to the beast pirates, him being the plague and him creating plagues. I'm pretty sure what was in those canisters were some type of plague, like some type of virus or something. You know what I'm saying? Something that caused virus. Some toxic, some like poison. You know what I mean? Some plague or something. So, and we know Caesar dealt heavily with artificial devil fruit, so it just kind of shows what they have a knack for, right? We got Caesar with the devil fruit, artificial devil fruit, Queen with the plague, and Judge with weapons, with some type of weaponry, right? So I'm kind of thinking this might lead to a little divisiveness within the Mads group, though. You know what I mean? Especially with Vegapunk and them. So I'm interested to see where this goes. All right, so let's get into the chapter. All right, so we're at Egghead Island. And we get a little Oda quote. It says, "A remarkable step." And then I think these are Oda boxes talking, right? It says, "Even if the world does not accept how she came to be, the girl is unmistakably human. It was a success. I bear witness to this achievement, and I maintain that it is a huge step towards world peace." And we got Egghead in the background. And it seems like somebody is yelling. I don't know if they're yelling or singing. But, we got these little Japanese symbols symbolizing like somebody yelling or whatever. I'm assuming Bonney. Maybe Bonney. They're talking about the girl. And who is this girl he's talking about? Is this the girl he's talking about, Bonney? Like, the girl is unmistakably human. It was a success. I bear witness to this achievement. And I maintain that was a huge... Okay, all right, okay. So we cut to where we see Bonney in a lab crying. Look like she's like a little girl at the moment, right? Like she's in a little girl form. And you kind of see Vegapunk in the background peeking around some machine. And it says, "Dr. Vegapunk, Chief of Mads, the Laboratory of Peace." So that was I'm assuming that was Dr. Vegapunk saying all those things. But it says Chief of Mads, the Laboratory of Peace. So I wonder if this is something that he said back when he was in Mads. And is this associated with Bonney? Right? Because he's saying all this and he said something about a girl. And then we see Bonney in the lab crying with Vegapunk in the background. And it's talking about him being Chief of Mads. So I'm assuming this is something he quoted back when he was part of Mads. I don't know. So we got Bonney sobbing. And she said, "It hurts. I think I broke something." What? So I'm getting like, was Bonney Was Bonney created? Like, cause how it sound like Vegapunk said that, like, I want, let me repeat all that stuff. He says, even if the world does not accept how she came to be, the girl is unmistakably human. It was a success. I bear witness to this achievement, and I maintain that it is a huge. So he's talking about some girl being a success. Is it like? Is it like Bonney? Was Bonney created? Like, because we know Bonney is Kuma's daughter, but we don't really know the details of their connection in their relationship. Was like Bonney was Bonney created after Kuma became a pacifista, and Vegapunk like gave. I'm jumping too far ahead. Let me just read. Let me just read. I'm going a little south, I guess. I'm going a little south, so let me just continue to read, because I'm a little confused now, because Vegapunk said all that stuff was speaking of some girl like she was created, and then we cut the Bonney. It's like, I feel like it's leading me to believe something about Bonney. You know what I mean? So we got Bonney crying, and then Vegapunk peeking behind this thing. And he says, "But Bonney, dear me, are you all right? Medics, look alive." Or, "Dear me, are you all right? Medics, look alive. Hurry, Bonnie's been injured." And then we see we see like Bonnie's eyes sparkle, and she got like a angry looking smile almost. All right, so we see Bonney like lifting herself up, and then we got Vegapunk shocked in the face, and then Bonney all of a sudden goes into some like Hulk form, right? Where she like super big, right? Like she's super big, and she says distorted future, and then I think she says that, or unless Vegapunk says that, and then Vegapunk says, "Whoa." So she got like a big old Sabo looking pipe in her hand, swinging it at Vegapunk. So we see Jory Bonney in this big hulking form where she's like real freaking diesel, just brolic as hell, right? So it's like, I wonder if this is just like a kind of like Oda kind of joking, right? Like Oda joke, or if her ability can grant her like mass. Cause when we see Bonnie's ability, all we know of it is it could change her age, right? Like she could go from an old lady to like a adolescent child, maybe even possibly a baby. I don't even know how far her ability can push her. Like if she went young enough to be an infant, would she lose her sense of self identity, right? Like maybe not though. Maybe not. Like I wonder if she goes too old, could she die? If she go too young, could she like go into like an infancy mind state? Like I'm curious. But we see her in this hawking form, and I'm just thinking like, is that her is that her devil fruit ability, or is it just like some gag Oda is giving her because she's angry and she's trying to beat up Vegapunk? I'm genuinely curious about that. And so she swings that pipe, trying to hit Vegapunk, but Vegapunk manages to dodge. She's really trying to take this man out, bro. She really trying to take this. she she's pissed at Vegapunk, bro. Uh, so Vegapunk manages to dodge, and then he runs away, and he says, "Bonney, stop this. Even if you kill me." And then Bonney says, "Timely." So yeah, so this continued thing with Bonney trying to, attack Vegapunk and force him to help, or attack him because he can't fix Kuma. You know what I mean? Just continuing. It's just a continuation. So we see Jory Bonney. She says thrust, and she thrusts the pipe into Vegapunk's back, and we see Vegapunk's eyes go white. And what? What's going on? So we see the pop. We see the pipe that Bonnie hits Vegapunk with. It's like pushing his stomach forward, right? And then we see like stars and hearts, like these different shape objects come out of Vegapunk's stomach. Okay, I, is this like a Jory Bonnie ability thing? Because next we see Vegapunk much younger. Like he has color in his hair. Like his hair is black instead of like white or gray or whatever color it is. I'm assuming gray, because he's old. Never really see white hair, but it's not gray. It's black again, and he doesn't have a mustache. He looks like a adolescent boy. So yeah, that definitely was Jory Bonnie's ability at work. But Jory Bonnie really wasting time though. Like we got Kizaru outside Egghead Island. We got CP0 and she's sitting here chasing Vegapunk, bro. Come on, chill, Bonnie. Like Luffy just needs to go grab Vegapunk and get out and just leave Jory Bonnie because she's wasted too much time, bro. She wasted too much time, and I don't like it. I don't like it. So we got Jory Bonnie with her first victory. The first fight that we see Jory Bonnie in where she has a victory. She's sitting over triumphant over Vegapunk's body. But yo, so we also learned that she could manipulate ages through other objects. Like she doesn't have to touch you like directly. She could hit you with something else and turn and manipulate your age or de-age you or push your age through other objects. Like, so we're learning more about how her ability actually works. Good thing. Dope. We learning more about Jory Bonnie's ability. And so Bonnie stands over as the victor in this Vegapunk's first fight ever. No, I don't know. Maybe it is. He says, "Oof, dag nabbit. I suppose these shiny doodads are a manifestation of the years I just lost." Uh, okay. So yeah, those doodads are like the shapes that come out of you are your years. Meaning if somebody was to steal those little shapes, right? You wouldn't be able to go back to your original age. You would just be young. And how does it work, right? So when she takes years from you, your years are ejected out of you into these little shapes, what it looks to be, in these little shapes. So when she's aging you, is she like putting like shapes into you? And where is she getting the years from that she's putting into you? Because because it looks like when she de-ages you, the years that you lose, right? The years that she take from you and make you younger, right? Like say if you're 60 and she de-ages you to 30. So that's 30 years you lose. And those shapes that come out of you would be the manifestation of the years that you lost. Those they would be the 30 years that you lost. When she's aging you, is she like putting shapes into you? And where is she getting the shapes that she's putting into you? Is it like her years, or is it just, could she just create years to give you? I mean, I guess she could create years, you know what I mean? Her being like her ability being the mastery of age. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we get some level of explanation to that, but that's interesting though, because didn't she de-age Zoro? Did she de-age Zoro? Like, because supposedly she de-aged somebody in Sabaody. I remember, was it Zoro? I guess, but we didn't see no shapes. So we got little Vegapunk, Vegapunk Jr. I mean, bro, when you look at Jory Bonney's ability, bro, like that is ridiculously hacked, right? Like, if she can't beat you, right, she could just turn you to a kid and beat you up. But then that's when we start talking about hockey. Hockey undoing her ability. Like, she turned you to a kid, like Doc Q turned Law into a woman, and Law just like hockey, bam, back to a man again, right? So, but that's confusing how hockey affects devil fruit abilities. Like, if you're a devil fruit user with a high level of hockey, could you unnegate someone else's negate, like, through their hockey? Like, I'm curious. But yeah, but Vegapunk says, "You've turned me into a helpless child. Give me back my golden years." So he's reaching out for those, I guess his years, the gems, the jewelry or whatever, the diamonds, whatever they are. I'm not sure. And Jory says, "Calm down. My power doesn't last forever on living things." We're getting more explanation. I'm liking it. So it's her ability is very temporary when it comes to living things, but it also implies that she can do this to objects as well. See, the more we get into this chapter, the more I think her devil fruit is a superior devil fruit to the rush fruit, to Shinobu's fruit. Because Shinobu's fruit, it usually rots, it ages or rots like objects, like, but she can do it to people as well. But it would be permanent, right? In her case, it'd be permanent. In Jory Bonnie's case, she can de-age people, but it's temporary. She can age or de-age people, but it's temporary. And it sounds like she can do it to objects as well, where it wouldn't be as temporary. Because she says, my power doesn't last forever on living things. So it's almost implied that she could do that to non-living things as well, and it will last forever, or however long she wants it to last. So aging like a non things is like, it's kind of like Shinobu's shtick, right? And then Bonnie says, "You said you had a reason. Well, you better start talking. Why the hell did you kill my father?" And then Vegapunk says, but Bonnie, if I tell you..." And then we cut away. Wow, Oda, you dirty man. You dirty man, Oda. How dare you cut away when we was about to get an explanation? We better still get this explanation this chapter, man. We better still get this explanation this chapter. I ain't gonna lie, man. I kind of look like Vegapunk in this chapter, bro. Like this little Vegapunk with my hair and, even though I still got a beard and Vegapunk don't got a beard on here, but yeah. Let me stop before I give y'all some fuel to flame me. I'm giving y'all fuel to flame me right now. So we cut to the red port. And then we got all the citizens looking up at the red line, and they said, "Look, Kuma's trying to climb the red line. There's no way he'll make it all the way to the top." If I divulged the reason, I would only serve to hurt you. I'm assuming this is Vegapunk still explaining. So okay, we're still gonna get the explanation. It's just we're getting some Kuma stuff as he explains Kuma, right? Um, and then someone says, "Huh?" I'm assuming that might be Jory Bonney. And then Vegapunk says, "That's why I can't." No, Vegapunk, you can. So it's kind of looking like that Kuma going to the red line because when we see Kuma crash into the red line, I figured that maybe that town that he was at wasn't his original destination because it looked like the red line stopped Kuma from going where he wanted to go. You know what I mean? And he just it stopped him. It was an obstacle, so he stopped there. But we also talked, I think, in the discussion that Kuma might have kind of like the Iron Giant. Remember we learned about the Iron Giant? He climbed the red line and started attacking Mary Joa, right? It's kind of looking like Kuma is on like a program where he's repeating the actions of the Iron Giant. So yeah, maybe this is like a something Vegapunk programming the Kuma to eventually betray the world government or something. Work for, like something he playing with the revs. Vegapunk says, "I promised Kuma that I would keep his secret from you no matter what." So there was some promise. We talked about Vegapunk being in cahoots with Kuma, like them making some type of a deal. It's coming all. It's all coming to fruition. But is he going to tell? Is he going to actually tell Jory Bonney? I hope so. Like, tell her. But he made that promise to Kuma that he wouldn't tell her. So we might not get that explanation. I'm sorry, guys. But y'all read the chapter, so y'all know if he actually does say it. Bonnie says, "You're saying you can't tell me why you had to kill my dad. Do I look like I was born yesterday? Stop screwing around. I'm not trying to pull a fast one here. You gotta believe me," says Vegapunk. And then Vegapunk says, "Nobody made the decision for him. Kuma chose that fate for himself. You liar. Dad would never choose to die and abandon me. I'll kill you." And then Vegapunk said, "It's been hard on me too. I wish I could forget the whole ordeal." Okay, so we're getting more pieces. This was all Kuma's doing, right? Like, so can we even blame the world government? Right? Can we blame? Is this all Kuma's responsibility? Was Kuma responsible for this whole pastafista program and his cybernetic augmentation? Is he responsible? Did he come to Vegapunk for all this? You know what I'm saying? Did he come to Vegapunk, or was it like an offer? Like, did the world government say, "Hey, we can spare your daughter. We can spare your kingdom if you do this program." And then Kuma was like, "Okay, I'll do it. Let's do this. Vegapunk, fix me up." Like, is this something that Kuma brought up? Like, is it an idea that Kuma brought up, or is it just like he was given an ultimatum and he actively decided to do this? Because according to Vegapunk, this was all Kuma's doing. This wasn't Vegapunk's doing. Vegapunk didn't want to do this, So the plot thickens. The plot thickens. The Marines are attacking Kuma, who's climbing the red line, and they say, "Kuma's an incredible man. I've always been proud to call him my close friend. Bonney, please understand. I can't say anything more on the matter." And then Bonney throws little Vegapunk on the ground and says, "Just spit it out. I'm not going to blindly swallow your half-assed excuse. Vegapunk said, "Yeah, this is child abuse." I mean, is it really child abuse? She is beating up on the child, but it's like Vegapunk's not really a child. He's just physically a child at the moment, but he's not really a child. He just physically been turned to a child. And then we get a beep, 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 and we see Jory Bonnie turn around, look at something, and Vegapunk says, "Uh," or Jory Bonnie says, and Vegapunk says, "Huh?" And we see Bonnie start to walk away from Vegapunk. And Vegapunk said, "Bonnie, wait. Pay no attention to what's over there. It's got nothing to do with Kuma, you hear?" That sounds like it has exactly something to do with Kuma. The fact it sounds like it's something exactly to do with Kuma. So we see a door that says "Keep Out," and it has a paw print. It has a paw print. If it couldn't be any more obvious, it has a paw print on the door. And then Jory said, or Bonnie says, "That's obviously a lie." And we see this room under heavy security and heavily locked. And we see Jory pretty much break the lock with her ability. I guess she's able to, it's kind of like the rust fruit, right? Or the rock fruit. So here's how I kind of see it, right? I kind of see, because we know that devil fruits kind of, you have like the superior versions of devil fruits. You know what I mean? It's kind of like there's devil fruits that are very similar. It's just one might be superior to the other. So I will go like the most inferior version of that devil fruit that Jory Bonnie has is the rust fruit, the one that marine who rusted Zoro's swords in his lobby. I forgot which sword he rusted, but it was the one sword Zoro replaced with Shishui. That might be like the weakest version of that the devil fruit, right? Like his version, you probably can't like age people, right? You probably can't age people, but you could rust metal, right? You could age metal, right? Then you have Jory Bonnie's devil fruit, or not Jory. You got Shinobu's devil fruit, where where you can you can rot objects, and you can also age people as well, but you can't de-age them. You can't undo the damage you've done, but you could age objects and people. Then you got Jory Bonnie's devil fruit. You could age people and objects, and you could de-age people and objects. So it's kind of like a whole Pokemon thing, right? Where the marine, that marine guy, his devil fruit is like the Charmander, right? And then Shinobu was like Charmeleon, and then Boa, or not Boa, Jory Bonnie's like Charizard. She's like the Charizard of her devil fruit. And so she opens, we see her open this room, and we see a big old bubble. It's kind of like, it looked like a bubble. Kind of like when Kuma does his Ursa shock. I think that's what it's called, the Ursa shock. He make that big old bubble, and then he like compresses it. He compacts it. And then he shoots it, and then it's like a little bomb. Oh, that's a beautiful move right there, bro. I love Kuma's ability, man. It's just, come on now. This man just be repelling air in the compression. Come on now, bro. It's beautiful. Beautiful ability. So we see this big old bubble with a paw print bubble. And Jory Bonnie is panting, looking at it. Oh, man. What are we about to get? What are we about to get? We got Vegapunk looking on at Jory Bonnie, and then it looked like we're phasing into a flashback. And it says, "Memories. That's right. A scientist out in West Blue once postulated that a person loses 21 grams of mass upon death, and that could be considered the weight of their soul. Hmm. And then he says, fascinating, isn't it? If nothing else, such a link would prove that the soul does in fact exist. So we see Kuma looking at Vegapunk writing something on a board as Vegapunk speaks. Oh, we getting a flashback, baby. Oh, things is about to get juicy. This is about to get juicy. And Vegapunk says, and your power can take something intangible like pain and give it a physical form. Yeah, we definitely know that. We definitely know that what he did to Monkey D. Luffy. It's weird that Vegapunk mentions something that is exactly what Kuma did to Luffy. You know what I mean? He didn't say like you could take emotions or you could take like something else. He said pain, and we know what happened, right? We know what happened with that whole Luffy situation. And then he says not only that, but you can even transfer it to others. A total wireless transmission of nerve signals. So, I'm getting the idea that Kuma is responsible for the satellites. Like Kuma took Vegapunk's essence, or like a portion of Vegapunk's essence, and put him into these different cyborgs and clones, you know. And Vegapunk says, so I'm wondering if that same logic can be applied to other nervous signals. Can we determine whether things like imagination and memories have mass and volume as well? So you want me to pull out my own memories and show you, says Kuma. Ooh, bro, Kuma could pull out memories, bro. That'd be wild. Like, just imagine Kuma being able to. Kuma could probably essentially do what Puddin could do. Like, if he can extract all your memories, right? Maybe remove one of them, put them into somebody else, and then give you the other memories back. So now you lost a memory, right? Because Kuma done repelled it and gave it to somebody else or discarded or something. So, bro, the possibilities of Kuma's devil fruit, bro. Like, low key, Kuma always had one of my favorite devil fruits. Just the possibilities, bro. Come on now. Kuma says that's far too personal. Man, my man Kuma got the glasses up, bro. Come on, son. He got the wavy hair. My man looking like Fabio out here, bro. My man Kuma's looking like Fabio. And then Vegapunk says, please, it will help me advance science. Nobody will see them, I promise. And then Kuma says, no. And then Vegapunk says, please, I'm begging you. So you telling me that big old bubble, what I'm starting to assume is that big old bubble must be Kuma's memories. So Jory Bonnie's about to get her, she's about to get her truth since Vegapunk not going to give it to her. Jory Bonney is about to get the truth of everything that happened, and it's not because Vegapunk gave it to her. You know, if what I'm thinking is the case, that big old Paul bubble, right, kind of reminds you of that bubble that he made for Zoro of Luffy's pain. That's probably Kuma's memories. Vegapunk says, "Don't touch that, Bonney. I'm sure you're familiar with Kuma's powers. There's nothing there but pain. It's more than enough to kill someone." And then Bonney says, "No." And then we cut back to the red line. We see these guys shooting at Kuma. And they say, "Shoot him down. Don't let him get to Mary Joa." And then Bonney says, "I know my father's ability." And then one of the Marines says, "Direct hit." And she says, I know my father's ability all too well. And then Kuma falls to the ground, and the Marine says, seize him. Make sure you finish him off. He's still alive. All civilians, please evacuate. And we see Kuma like, I don't know if he's like throwing like blasts at him, like with his like maybe little Ursa shocks or whatever, or if he's like repelling the attacks that the Marines are attacking him with. Bruh, you know why Kuma's ability is just so damn awesome, bro. It's like a great defensive ability, but then it has so much offensive capabilities as well. Like he could just repel your attack back at you, right? Like you try to hit him, repel, 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 repel. It doesn't matter if it's Logia attacks, repel. Doesn't matter what kind of attacks, repel, repel, repel. The man should be able to repel anything pretty much, right? Repel back at you, repel, repel, right? So it's a great defensive devil fruit ability with a great. I wonder if he could repel hockey. Like, could he repel the hockey out of some? Like, could he repel the will of somebody? Pretty much removing their ability of hockey. Could he repel somebody's ability to use devil fruit abilities? Like, what are the limitations of this man's devil fruit? I'm genuinely curious. Bonney says his memories are here, aren't they? And then we get a panel of Kuma getting attacked, and then we cut to Egghead Labo Stratum. All right, so we're with Nami, Shaka, Usopp, and Sanji. Nami says, "What? Rob Lucci really made all the way up here?" And then Shaka says, "My apologies. The systems malfunction. It's a heck of a time for systems be malfunctioning." I don't know, bro. Now I think Shaka lying now. The systems malfunction, really, really. And this coming from Shaka seems really rich, right? Really, Shaka? Really? Your systems malfunction there, buddy? Is that the excuse we're going with? And then Usopp says, it's a good thing Zoro and Brooks stayed on the ship. There's no way they lose. Even if it's 2 against 3, they'll figure something out. And then Shaka says, no, look again. The battle is far more lopsided than you think. And then Usopp says, what? Yeah, it's probably them Seraphim, man. Yup. Seraphim are with him. And it says the Seraphim things are there too. It's 2 against 7 now, and they're up against the best of the best. Usopp says, damn it, they called in backup while the barrier was down. No doubt CP0 ordered them directly. I mean, all you need is a Vegapunk to show up and be like, hey, Seraphim, stand down and join us. You know what I'm saying? That's all you really need. And then we see all hold on, where was I? And then it says, then we see Edison. I was about to say Pythagoras. We see Edison and Lilith running off to join the battle. And Edison says, that's assuming we get there in time to holler our orders at them. Till then, there's still a huge threat. I'll be back lickety split. And then they said, hopefully those two hopefully those two can hang in there. And then Lilith says, woo, I'll go too. Hee hee. We know Lilith wants to fight, bro. Lilith about that action, bro. Lilith is about that action. Oh, did I skip something? I think I skipped the part of the panel. We get Shaka talking to Sanji. Shaka says the Seraphim are able to access combat situations, and they're equipped with some limited decisions or decision. They're equipped with some limited decision making capabilities of their own, so they choose to capitalize on the barrier going down. And then Lucci says, "We didn't order them to come." Okay, so they weren't ordered. And then Stussy says, "It's not like we can make them go back now. The dome is operational again." And then said the enemies made a serious miscalculation. Now that they're up here, we can turn the Seraphim back to our side. Since we're higher in the command hierarchy, and then we see the hierarchy: 5 elders, Vegapunk, Sitamaru, authority chip holders, CP0. All right, and then this is when Edison and Lilith run off, and Edison says, "That's assuming we get there in time to holler our orders at them. Till then, we're still a huge threat. Aha, I'll be back, lickety split." Then somebody says, "Hopefully those two can hang in there." Woo, I'll go too. Hee hee, says Lilith. And then Shaka says, "I'll leave it to you, you two, then Edison, Lilith." And then Lilith said, "Get off your high horse." And then Sanji says, "To think Mosshead would croak right when the One Piece is in our sights." And then Sanji says, "You go too. This threat affects the whole crew." Right? So, duh, Sanji. What are you doing, Sanji? You better go protect that shit, my guy. Or y'all all screwed, bro. What are you talking about, Sanji? Sanji just want to see Zoro die, though. He don't care. He don't care how that affects him. He just wants to see Zoro's die. And then Sanji said, "Nami's orders are absolute for the the mirror from." Bro, that's funny. He said the Mirathum. The Mirathum. It's funny he say that because Sanji is technically kind of like a seraphim, bro. Like, he technically might be a seraphim or similar to a seraphim. You know, you get the Lunarian DNA and everything. And then he says, "Still, why do I have to save him?" And then we see Frankie chasing behind Sanji. He says, "Don't screw around. Swirl of him. Swirl of him. Swirl of him. This is serious." Bruh. We getting into it. We getting into it. So we got Brook and Zoro squatted up ready for a fight. And Brook says, "What the devil is he supposed to be?" And Zoro says, "Well, he's meant to be a giraffe, but he seems a little different from what I remember." Not that it matters. He's going to wind up a diced up corpse either way. You gotta love the shit talk, bro. You gotta love the shit talk. And then Kaku says, "That's if you could cut me, Ro and Noah." And then Zoro says, "Look after the ship, Brook." And Brook says, "Understood." Who is Brook supposed to fight? Who is Brook supposed to fight? He's supposed to fight Lucci and Stussy is in the Seraphim while Zoro gets his one-on-one with Kaku. Come on now. Come on now. I think Brook should be fighting Kaku and let Zoro protect the ship from Lucci and the Seraphim. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. So you see Rob Lucci, you know, he kind of like, you know, wraps his head around, you know, do a lot of twirling with his head, and he attacks Zoro, but Zoro seems to block it. I wonder if this is an Awaken though, right? Is this Awaken? Does he have those? Does he have those cloud cloak, that cloud cloak like Rob Lucci and Luffy? Because when you look at this form, his hair, like the giraffe hair, looks like it's flaming, right? Kind of like when Rob Lucci went into his awakening and his hair was flamish, right? That's kind of how Kaku looks. Zoro manages to block it, and Kaku strikes Zoro with a nose gun. Okay, this is our chance to see how far Kaku has came and how he matches up with Zoro. Kaku does a giraffe man gyro. It's like he's like spinning his neck, but it looked like he's also shooting some type of attack with his, or no, maybe he's just kind of like using his hooves, his arms to like brace himself. I think that's what he's doing. And then Zoro says, "I had my fill fighting critters with zigzagging attacks back in Wano." I guess he's talking about Killer and Kaido. Who else did Zoro fight that does a lot of zigzagging? I don't remember. And then Zoro says, "I'm tired of it." And then he like sends Kaku's face into the ground. And then Lucci yells, "Seraphim, quickly before Vegapunk gets here. Destroy the Labo Stratum." Y'all, I think I feel as though this mystery ally is about to show up. I feel it in my plums. My plums. I need to get that. I need to get that sound so I can start using my plums. And so we see S Bear, S Shark, S Hawk, and S Snake, I guess, preparing for battle. Shaka says, "This is bad. They're going to annihilate the lab." Uh-oh. And we see little Mihawk and little Kuma. Oh boy, what they about to do? And so it's like we see the top of the Labo Stratum get sliced off. Okay, yeah. So I thought maybe it was like a misdirection or whatever, but nah, Lucci commanded them to destroy the lab, and that's exactly what they hit that lab. And so we see Usopp and Nami falling and yelling, screaming, and Kaku says, "They sure know how to razzle dazzle. They're basically doing our job for us." I mean, bro, these are said to be the strongest beings in the world. So we see what? We see somebody like we see somebody like under Kaku's neck. And I guess they bite Kaku and it says chomp. And then Kaku says, "Huh? You?" And then we see Kaku's head fall to the floor. And Rob Lucci's bird says, "Cuckoo." Or he says, "Coo, Kaku." So I wonder if the bird was trying to say Kaku. Lucci says, "Kaku." And then Rob Lucci looks to the right, and we see like some legs above Kaku's above Kaku, right? And Rob Lucci says, "What are you doing, Stussy?" And Stussy has these wings. Stussy has these wings. Uh, so don't tell me Stussy is the mystery ally. Stussy says, "Who, me? I'm just putting him to sleep. Would you please join him, Lucci? I think it's time for your cat nap, too." And then, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. The game just got changed. Hold on. Hold on. Are we serious here? Are we serious here? Are we serious here? It says, she says, who, me? I'm just putting him to sleep. Would you please join him, Lucci? I think it's time for your cat nap too. And this says, clone of Miss Buckingham. Miss Buckingham. Who is Miss Buckingham? Clone of Miss Buckingham. Stussy of the Rocks. Pirate of the Rocks. Pirates. Of the Rocks. Pirates. Bro. People have been calling Stussy, but I don't think I've ever heard nobody say that she was the clone of Miss Buck of a Rocks Pirates. Nobody, I don't think I've heard anybody speculate that she was part of the Rocks. I heard Mads, but Rocks Pirates. And then the continuous says Mads' first successful clone, Unit 01 Stussy. So she was the girl who was in that cover page with all of the mad scientists. She was the first clone of Miss Buckingham, and she got the Lunarian wings. Bruh. God damn, that's the way you end the goddamn chapter, bro. Come on now. All right, so let's talk about this chapter. Now. So we start the chapter. We got Jory Bonney pretty much attacking Vegapunk, trying to get Vegapunk to fix her father or tell her the truth of why he can't fix her father, right? But Vegapunk is pretty much like adamant. He's like, look, I can't tell you because I promised Kuma I wouldn't tell you. You know, Kuma made me promise. Matter of fact, this was all Kuma's idea in the first place. Kuma wanted to do this. I didn't do this against Kuma's will. Kuma wanted this, right? So this is Vegapunk's trying to get this across to Jory Bonney, but Jory Bonney's not having it. So Jory Bonney eventually gets a hold of Vegapunk, attacks him with her ability, and turns him to a kid and start kind of bullying Vegapunk as a kid, right? And so as she's assaulting Vegapunk, and the Vegapunk's like, look, bro, I can't tell you. It's just it's nothing but it's going to bring you nothing but pain, and I promise Kuma. You know, Bonnie notices something. She hears something in the back behind her, and she notices it, and it catches her eye, right? And we see this big door with like a paw symbol, right? And it's kind of obvious where we going with that, right? The only person in the series that symbol is really connected with. Also, the only person in the series or one of the only people in the series that has a close connection with Vegapunk as well. Kuma, nobody else but Kuma. But this room that's behind this door is locked, right? Because we see the panel of the open the door. It has a lock on it, but Jory Bonney uses her ability and she breaks it and opens the door. And what do we see? We see this big old bubble, right? We see this big old paw bubble, kind of like it's kind of reminiscent to the same bubble that Kuma made back in Thriller Bark, the one where he made the Ursa shock. He like compressed it and then turned it to an attack, and also the thing where he took Luffy's pain out and gave it to Zoro. It kind of looked like that bubble, right? And we at the same time we're getting kind of a flashback with Kuma talking to Vegapunk, and Vegapunk's talking about Kuma's abilities and how it worked, and how he can extract pain and then how he could potentially extract memories. And he's sitting here begging Kuma like, hey, just let me do it. It's important. It's important we hold your memories or whatever. And so Kuma must have obviously eventually agreed. We didn't see him agree to it, but he had to since we see this bubble. And so we cut back to the present. Jory Bonnie's like, hey, what's up with this bubble? And Vegapunk said, look, man, that bubble is just pain. It's a pain bubble. Don't do it. It's only going to bring you pain, enough pain to kill you. And Bonnie's like, look, I know my father, man. I know his ability more than anything. And that's not what that is. Is this my father's memories? So we cut from that. We cut from it. Nothing else we got from that. So we don't see Jory Bonnie access those memories or anything. It's just, we cut from it. We cut back to the lab with Shaka, Nami, Zoro, or not Zoro, Sanji, and Frankie, right? And Usopp as well. And they're talking to Shaka. Shaka's like, look, y'all guys are in trouble. Y'all guys are in trouble. They got this. They done brought the Seraphim with them, right? They brought the Seraphim with them. So it ain't just a 2 versus 3. This is gonna be like a 2 versus 7, right? 2 versus 7, and so that pretty much leaves room for Edison and Lilith to pretty much sprint out and say, look, we got to give these Seraphim the order to stop, right? We got to put them back on our side. And back at the lab, Sanji's pretty much like, hey, Zoro about to die, and I'm here for it. But Nami like, nah, get your ass out there. Get your ass out there and go protect our ship. So Sanji, Frankie also follows, and they're going to go fight off CP0 as well. And so Zoro is fighting Kaku while Brook opts to protect the ship, which I don't get that, because I feel as though Brook should fight Kaku and Zoro should protect the ship from Lucci and the Seraphim, because I don't think Brook's gonna be able to handle Rob Lucci. I'm sorry. I don't think Brook's handle Rob Lucci. I think Zoro would be a better matchup for Rob Lucci, and Brook would probably be a better matchup for Kaku. Even though I don't think Brook could beat Kaku, it's a closer matchup for Brook and Kaku than Brook and somebody like Rob Lucci. But while they're fighting, they tell the Seraphim, like, hey, go destroy the Labo Stratum. Like, go destroy the lab or whatever. And so they slice like a top of the lab. They slice off the top of the lab. And while all this stuff is happening, we see Kaku head collapse. Why did Kaku's head collapse? We see somebody near Kaku that bit Kaku. Somebody that is no other than Stussy, the queen of the Pleasure District, wherever that is. That's one place I wouldn't mind being. If you ask me, I would not mind being at the Pleasure District. But I digress. We learn that Stussy betrays Kaku. She pretty much stops Kaku, and then she tells Rob Lucci, like, hey, why don't you knock yourself out now so I don't have to do it, right? And then we get the reveal that Stussy is a clone of Miss Buckingham of the Rocks Pirates, who most likely might be Bakken, right? Buckingham, all that. So I think we could speculate and we can assume that Bakken is Buckingham. And she is also the first successful clone of the Mads Science Group. Most likely the girl in the cover page where we had the Mad Science Group all together, that reveal. So Stussy is is looking like she is the mystery ally. I don't know how Vegapunk was able to call her and she was able to answer that phone and talk to Vegapunk while she was around Kaku and Lucci and how they didn't notice her talking on like a Den Mushi to Vegapunk. I don't know how they didn't notice that. I mean, she is a CP0 agent, so she's pretty sneaky, right? She was able to sneak up on Kaku, who I would think would have observation hockey, right? But she still managed to sneak up on Kaku. So if that's possible, I guess it's possible for her to break off and answer a phone call and then be like, yeah, I got you. Just give me a second. So Stussy is looking like the mystery ally, and she's also a clone of Bakken. I assume Bakken, part of the Rocks Pirates. Bruh, this is a wild chapter. Most definitely that ending was definitely a wild chapter. We also got some stuff with Kuma climbing the red line while being attacked by Marines. But yeah. So next chapter, I'm expecting us to maybe see what's in Kuma's memories through Jory Bonney's perspective. I was about to say perspective, right? Either next chapter or the chapter after that, because sometimes Oda don't like to give us stuff right away. You know, he like to make us wait a few chapters. So we'll probably be getting that within the next few chapters, maybe Kuma's memories and why he opted to be a guinea pig to Vegapunk and sacrifice himself. You know, that's definitely one thing that I'm definitely looking for. But yeah, so y'all guys, that is pretty much the chapter for today. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on this chapter. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Remember, this is my first read through, right? I usually do another read through a little later, like off of stream and everything. So a lot of this stuff I'm seeing for the first time, so I gotta sit here and let some of the stuff marinate, right? That's why a lot of the people in my chat usually help me come to some of these conclusions a lot faster, right? So yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts on the chapter. Follow me on Twitch so you could catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. You could sit there and correct me, right? You could sit there and tell me like, hey, like I might miss something while I'm doing a live reaction, but you guys could seriously say, hey, bro, you missed this. So if you want to be part of a future live stream, make sure you join my Twitch. If you want to get at me directly, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And join the Discord. Join the Discord. The Discord is going to be the best place to get at me because that's usually the place I'm usually the most active at. So if you want to be part of a future discussion stream, which I will be having a discussion stream for after this chapter as well, make sure you're part of the Discord. And if you want to send me content to react to, make sure you're part of the Discord. I have a channel there designated for you guys to send me stuff to react to, like theories, One Piece theories, whatever, you know, discussions, whatever. Anyway, y'all, all of these will be in the description box. It's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.